Hello everyone and welcome back to Spoiler Warning featuring myself, Tom Colohue, as we go through the biggest wrestling news in the good old-fashioned world, as it were. Hello everyone, I do apologise, I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm feeling a lot better, so my plan is to be here for at least Spoiler Warning and then probably for our SmackDown show, a full watch-along as well. So hello everyone. News today, William Regal is finally out of AEW and already has his deal in place for WWE. We have news on Sasha Banks and what she is signed for in Japan. Kayla Sparks signing, Dragon Lee signing, Miro and Andrade working to get out of AEW as we speak. And then we talk WrestleMania, where we're going to be talking the possibility of The Rock. I'll give you a spoiler. And the possibility of Cody Rhodes. I'll give you a spoiler. Hello and welcome, everyone. First up on the YouTube side, Brad Becker saying, Tom, any thoughts on the Dragon Lee signing? Will he be using the Dragon Lee name or will be given a new WWE name? To my knowledge, Dragon Lee is he owns the name Dragon Lee, so he will be using the Dragon Lee name going forward. I'll be interested to see where, and if he fits in. Wrestler Fan says, any plans on having the Money in the Bank ladder matches take place at WrestleMania 39? It's been in discussion. Money in the Bank pay-per-view has been one of those pay-per-views where they've spoken about removing it entirely and just doing something different. However, Money in the Bank, the actual concept, will still survive. We'll see how that plays out going forwards, but I can't exactly sit here and say it's not going to be in WrestleMania. It's going to be in WrestleMania. They're still very much in discussions about this. We're simply not there at the moment in order to work out the next steps. Thank you very much, Tom Talks Rubbish, for the festive cheer. A very generous donation. Thank you, as always, Tom. Simon says, hi, Tom. Hope you had a great Xmas. Happy New Year 2023. Any new update in the Sasha WWE deal with Triple H? The news is that there is no deal with Triple H. There is no deal with Triple H. And as of 2 days from now, Sasha Banks officially becomes a free agent for a very, very brief amount of time. Simon also says, your thoughts on Slice Wrestling? I'm going to stop you there. Slice Wrestling is a parody, and the fact that you haven't realised that is a little bit concerning, mate. Nothing Slice Wrestling has to say has any basis in fact. Simon says, is it going to be Seth versus Drew WWE title night 1? Why would it be Seth versus Drew? What logic would there be for that? Neither of them are currently the WWE champion. Nas says, missed you, Tom. Hope your holidays are great and hopefully you're feeling better. Feeling a lot better, yes. Still not perfect, but feeling a lot better. Thank you very much to know that you've missed me. Mick Henno says much the same. Hi, Tom. Finally, you're back. Missed your streams. I do appreciate that, guys. It's very nice to know that I've been missed. Really quite reassuring. Suggests that I'm doing something right. Jaden says, hey, Tom. Hope you've had an amazing Christmas. Do you have any Sasha updates? Yes, I do. And yes, I did. Ashley Watson says, hello. Hello, Ashley. Kieran says, hey, Tom, are you feeling well enough for a watch-along tonight? At the moment, yes. At the moment. I'm not going to commit full term, but right now I'm expecting to be on a watch along tonight. It's just if in a half hour I'm coughing, spluttering and choking, maybe not. Spider-Ball says, hello, Tom. Going to the Wrestling Observer, Sasha Banks is scheduled to appear on the April 23rd show of Stardom and isn't clear yet what Sasha will do in that event. Sasha can post anything on social media and some of her fans will make theories about it. Yep. Nice to see you, Tom. I missed Monday. Spoiler warning. I do apologise for that. I simply wasn't feeling up to it and I didn't realise until late on because I was sort of drifting in and out of consciousness. It's been an interesting Christmas. I've been very heavily dosed up. I've needed to be. Bailey says, hello, Tom. Any injury update on AJ Styles? Nothing major, as Spider-Busters say. In a live event, AJ Styles suffered a lower leg injury. He is still actively being assessed, but he has been sent home for the foreseeable at the moment. Kieran says, is he live or are you just getting questions pre-stream? Not showing for me. I'm here, Kieran. Hi, how you doing? Spider-Boss says, do you think that Miro and Andrade return to WWE? More on that shortly. Jordan says, good evening, Tom. Welcome, Jordan. Daz says, big up, Tom. Did you have a good Christmas? Once I was successfully dosed up, yes, I did. Thank you kindly. Yes, I did. Dominic Perez says, hi, Tom. Are they going to push Santos Escobar? Depends what you mean by push. There is a very, very different world that we live in under Triple H, where people will be pushed but still be losing matches. That is just something that we will be expecting, and that is something that will be happening. Justin, welcome, says, any word on the OC versus Judgment Day feud long term? Seems like it's run out of ideas. Edge versus Finn would be a better Mania feud, in my honest opinion, since we're still a ways off. The Judgment Day versus OC feud is basically filler at this point. The OC were drafted in at the behest of AJ Styles, in many ways a favour to him. They are not exactly people that the WWE are planning to push long term. Eric says, how are you doing, my friend? Are you feeling oozy lately? I try my best to feel as oozy as I possibly can and represent the oozy word. Lately I've been feeling a bit sick. But just to be clear though, I don't have the big one, as it were. You're not allowed to say the word because then YouTube stops actually advertising you. But I'm not suffering from anything related to the pandemic. I just had a bit of flu. It's not the worst thing in the world. I just had a bit of flu. Noob says, hello Tom, how are you doing and how did your Christmas weekend go? I had fun, once again, once I was dosed up. It's been a bit of a difficult Christmas, but it was very nice having two very excitable children wake me up and say, okay, well, it's presents time now, get up. It's quite nice. Eric says, I missed the Monday stream. Me too, Eric. Justin says, with Dragon Lee in NXT now and rumours of Andrade being unhappy prior to surgery, what's Rush's contract status? To my knowledge, Rush is still contracted under, what is it, Ring of Honor that he was at? Was he Ring of Honor? I swear he was Ring of Honor. And he has not actually transferred to an AEW contract yet. Joey says, I think singing Dragon Lee is a big win. He's one of the best lucha wrestlers out there. And I do love how often people accidentally say singing instead of signing. I plan to read it every single time. Rosal says, hi Tom, any update on Charlotte? I kind of feel like we see her tonight. We're going to see her very, very soon. Rob says, hope you've enjoyed your holiday. Oh, hope you're enjoying your holidays. So far, so good. So far, so good, Robs. A few more good days. A few more good days. And I'll be in a good way. Christoph says, hi Tom, you haven't answered me by DM. Yeah, I've not been on Twitter. I've really not been focused on it. I've been mostly choking in bed. So I'll ask you here, any updates on the Pitch Black match? To my knowledge, the Pitch Black match has not been confirmed or formally announced by anyone yet. So I have no updates on something that I don't know exists. Venom says, hope you're feeling better, Tom. I've missed you. Nice to know, Venom. Thank you. Appreciate that. I hope you're good as well. Marcel says, hello, Tom. How are you? I'm okay. I'm okay. At the moment, that's as far as I will go. I'm okay. Justin says, hanging with family, so I'll miss live. I wanted to show sport and get those in. I did see the messages early on the YouTube. I was going to read them a little bit later, but I appreciate you doubling down and adding some extra comments there so I could read them during the show as well. Happy early New Year, guys. We'll make the live stream, but late. Let's go Tegan Knox. May the shiniest wizard shine bright. Dominic says they bring in a new world title on Raw. Thank you. They already have a world title. It's just not on Raw at the moment. Angel says if Orton can return, I would have him come back at Mania. He can't come back by Mania. Spiderboss says, as far as I remember, Triple H was negotiating with Sasha's representatives. What changed? Nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing has changed. There has always been a negotiation. There has never been a deal. And here we are. Nelson says he thinks she re-signs with WWE. I have my opinions. Eric says, do you know how we screw over Raquel tonight because we're supposed to get the rematch at the Rumble? Well, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. You never know. Raquel may win tonight, and then we get a rematch for the title once again. You never can tell. Venom says there was a post WWE tweeted with Sasha Banks on it, but somebody said it was just an old poster and not to get hyped about it. Well, firstly, who's that somebody? Because that somebody is your source there, so you have to source them. Oh, well, happy birthday, Alan. Raymond says, hello, Tom. Hope you feel better. Hope you have a successful 2023. You deserve it. Oh, thank you, Raymond. Appreciate that. Try my best. Try my best. Hope you're good as well. Stuart says, evening, Tom. Good to see you're back in the saddle. Trying it. Trying it. Trying it. Welcome yourself, Stuart. That says, Tom, is SmackDown live or pre-recorded tonight? Do you know? It is live tonight. Will says, it's funny you've been telling us about The Rock not being at WrestleMania for the whole year and now people trying to report The Rock might not be at WrestleMania. Funny how that plays out. Yep, I still can't sit here and say he definitely won't be at WrestleMania, but I'm careful what I report. I either report what I know for certain is going to happen, or I make it clear that it's not certain. There's a lot of times we've sat here and I said, this is under discussion, this is being discussed. And it doesn't happen because it's just being discussed, and I make that distinction very, very clear. When I say The Rock is not currently booked for a match at WrestleMania, it's because The Rock is not currently booked for a match at WrestleMania. More on that shortly. Michael says, hi, Tom. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Oh, pardon me. Now says, Meltzer said Raw may be getting a new title. Any news? No news on that one. Nothing I've heard about it. Haven't heard it. I'm okay. Spider-Bell says, Sami Zayn to a Bloodline dictionary on Raw was funny. I haven't watched Raw this week, mostly because of consciousness. Hector says, Tom, did you see the video of Dom and Rhea going to Ray's house and Dom getting arrested? It was fantastic when Mummy got him out of jail, thank goodness. I did see that. I caught up on that a little bit afterwards, and I really, really enjoyed it. They're doing very, very good stuff. Spider-Bell says, do you think Triple H will keep trying to negotiate with Sasha after she becomes a free agent? Yeah, absolutely. Asuka says, what's the plan for Liv Morgan going forwards? To be in a tag team at the moment with Tegan Nox. They are currently trying to get her onto the WrestleMania card, where she is likely to feature in that tag team. They don't have anything else planned for her going forwards at the moment. Dom says, welcome back, Tom. Will there be a watch party tonight? Hit that thumbs up. Or we have 2 words for you. Do it. Gotta go home to chat later. I'm doing a lot better, thank you, Dom. And yes, there is going to be a watch party tonight. I feel confident in my overall health that that's going to be happening. So I will be making the go live directly after this show, as is tradition. So yeah. Please do remember to hit like. We have 23 likes right now and 71 viewers. I actually forgot in the first 10 minutes to say that. So please, if you can, hit the like button. LFUK says, Ringside News reported the plan for WrestleMania is John Cena versus Logan Paul. What are your thoughts on this? I actually really like that as a concept. It just makes sense to me. John Cena working with someone the level of Logan Paul. We know Logan Paul has good stuff coming. We know that. We know he's going to be pushed pretty hard. He will be featuring in the Royal Rumble, where his storyline for WrestleMania will become apparent. John Cena has been long rumoured to be taking on Austin Theory. Austin Theory is not as liked by this particular administration as he was the previous one, because Vince McMahon absolutely loved him. John Cena versus Logan Paul makes sense to me. I'd absolutely love to see it, and I do think it's the right next step for both men. No, Eric, no fireworks for Sunday. That's not something we really do over here in the UK. Spider-Boss says, I've got my 2K22. Happy to see Sasha in some way. Christoph says, Pitch Black match has been officially advertised by WWE for the Rumble with a vignette. I'll send you if you haven't seen it. It's mystic. I would appreciate that. It's worth pointing out. I have not exactly been checking every single piece of wrestling news. I've mostly been unconscious. I am not well. Now says, Wrestling News Code just reported 10 minutes ago that Ronda will be facing Rhea at Mania. Interesting. Sort of out of nowhere. Wrong brand as well. Spider-Boss says, I'll wake up early to watch Sasha in Stardom. You may have to. Ghost says, hello Tom and chat. Hope everyone is doing well and bracing themselves for what is sure to be a fun 2023. Welcome, Ghost. Thank you very kindly for that. And I absolutely agree. 2023 should be a very, very good year, and I have big plans for this channel and for this community in that time. Sean says, after Alexa, who is Bianca facing next for her title? I believe Rhea is lined up next. Thank you very much, Sai, and welcome to the show with that very, very generous donation. Says, hi, Tom and all. Here's to an amazing 2023 for us all and the continued growth of this community. Thanks for running it, Tom. Stock up on some cold meds. Well, thank you very kindly. That will pay for more cough medicine. What can I say? And thank you, as always, for your part in this. I would send a thank you to Ed as well at this point, but let's just say he may have mixed up his Celts earlier, and now we're not on speaking terms. Michael, with the exact quote, thank you, Michael, appreciate this, from WrestlingNews.co. Plans for a match between Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch have been scrapped. We have not been told yet what the plans are for Lynch, but WWE sources say that Rousey is scheduled to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. Certainly suggests that Becky Lynch versus Bayley may be back on the table, though of course it depends what plans are for Bianca Belair. If, for example, we end up with Ronda Rousey versus Rhea Ripley for one championship and Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair for another championship, well then Becky Lynch is going to be doing something. So I have questions about this, and I'm not going to immediately believe it. Simon, once again, you're asking the same question in a different way. Joey says, WrestleVotes reported that Triple H wants to bring in more high-quality wrestlers for 2023 after getting Dragon Lee. Does this mean he wants to get the best indie wrestlers? Is this really a surprise to anyone? Triple H wants to sign good wrestlers? I don't really see how that's a report. Triple H is looking to sign talented wrestlers for his wrestling promotion, which relies on talented wrestlers. I don't see the actual report there. I'm confused. Spider-Boss says, funny that other wrestling media outlets try to come with Sasha Banks news. After all, spoiler warning, I've been given all the news about Sasha. I try my best, Spider-Boss. I try my best. Welcome, Bill. So how you doing, mate? Happy holidays to you. Hope you're doing good. Simon says, do you think Liv appears on SmackDown tonight? Yeah. Billy Crystal says, hello. First time in some weeks I finally have time to watch one of these videos live again. I'm very happy to see you, Billy. Welcome back to the show. And I'm always very grateful when anyone is here, whether you're a regular, whether you drop in once a month, once a year. Always happy to see you. Never disappointed that you can't make a show. If you can't make a show, you can't make a show. It's absolutely fine. Spider-Boss says, Rey Mysterio's wife slapping Rhea was funny. Rhea's reaction to Dominic getting arrested was cool. Nelson says, I just hope Sasha isn't the mystery partner. That seems unlikely at this point. More on that shortly. JJ says, hey Tom, wrestle features? We don't like wrestle features. Wrestle features make stuff up. Said the plan for WrestleMania is Ronda versus Rhea. Is that true? And if so, will we get Becky versus Bayley then? So I'd imagine Wrestle Features is taking that directly from the Wrestle News co-report, and as judging by the fact they've said Wrestle Features, I'd imagine they haven't actually given a source. Jay, would you be able to clarify on that one? So, Wrestle Features and the guy behind it, they are known for sending DMs to people who respond to my tweets, basically saying that I don't watch wrestling and I don't have any sources. It's especially funny considering one of the times in which they get caught doing this is when they were saying that I have no sources as to the return schedule of Kairi Sane after Kairi Sane was injured in a TLC match. Of course, what actually happened was that I reported Kairi Sane would be back just in time for the Royal Rumble and would be competing at the Royal Rumble, so as it wasn't that bad an injury, and that's exactly what happened. Kind of an embarrassing moment for Wrestle Features. But they do still insist on using that embarrassment to pick fights with anyone who believes in me. Bless them. Raymond says, with Bronson Reed with The Miz, what is the plan for Ciampa? To also be with The Miz. Spider-Boss says, do you think Liverpool need another forward? They already have one. They just got Gakpo. Noob says, who's going to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title at Mania 39? Good question. The thing is, with what you're saying there, you're assuming that report to be factually accurate. We can't assume that that report is factually accurate. We can't. You can't assume that one report is factually accurate. So it may well still be Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey and Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. We don't know. Thank you very much for subscribing, Sean. Always appreciate it. Thank you kindly, and welcome to the Tom Colohue shows. LF says, do you have any particular WWE predictions for 2023? I do believe that we are going to see Sami Zayn as a world champion next year. So I made a conscious decision with this one because it's not quite New Year's yet, so the decorations are still on show. Noob says we are going to get Becky Lynch and Bayley. Hopefully we'll get Asuka versus Io Sky at WrestleMania 39. I would expect so. I mean, as I say, they've been building those two up and we're finally starting to see the fruits of that recently. Eric says, what is your promo of the year? Mine is Seth Cody. Seth saying you and your little friends tried to blow up the throne I built. It's difficult for me with promo of the year. I think most of it's Roman, to be fair, and basically everything he's ever said. It's hard to track because promos I don't remember as strongly. Naz says Cody and FDR versus Imperium with pay-per-view time given is my 2023 dream match. I don't think they'll be pairing Cody and FDR up because there just isn't much logic behind it at the moment. After all, if FDR do return, I find it more likely we're going to see a reincarnation of No, not that one. FDR KO. That's what they're called. Well, Simon, you're going to find it hard to watch it then. Spider-Boss says, in your opinion, who is the best wrestler turned into actor? The Rock. No question. Girl says, I saw that WWE is advertising a pitch black match in collaboration with Mountain Dew for the Royal Rumble. What are your thoughts on this concept, and is it safe to assume this will be Bray Wyatt's first televised match back? It depends what you mean by match. That's the thing. It's not going to be a wrestling match. That seems pretty clear at this point. Hector says, I'm just upset that the chance Sasha won't be in the Rumble because I need to see her follow up to that 2022 Sailor Moon inspired Rumble gear. Hector, you've had a while to get used to this one. It's been a chance for a long, long time, essentially since the moment she walked out that she wouldn't be in the Royal Rumble. Justin says, do you think Bianca vs Alexa ends this week or we get a rematch at the Rumble? I think it's a one-match situation. Peter says, evening Tom, hope you're okay. AJ got injured, hope it isn't too serious. They're still assessing it, we'll find out soon. John says, will Cody Rhodes be the one to defeat Roman Reigns? More on that shortly. Sai says, if we're getting Rhea versus Rousey, I'd have a hard time predicting the face there. I don't see them turning the whole of Judgment Day, and Ronda's booking has been a mess since her return. Yeah, I don't see the match for that reason. Now, don't get me wrong. This is just my opinion. But I personally don't think that's a match that seems that likely. But remember this one. Christoph says Bray had wrestled on live events this week. A live event match is part of the numbers of matches scheduled on his contract, or is it just TV shows and pay-per-views? When it comes to contracts, live event matches are part of them. Dark Society says the perfect guy to beat our tribal chief at WrestleMania is Mr. Tom Colohue. You're asking a lot of me there, mate. A lot of me there. I can't certainly make any guarantees that I'll be fit and firing and ready to go on that one because Roman Reigns, big dude. Bit tough. Maybe tricky. Maybe tricky for me. Maybe tricky. JJ says, yeah, they got it from Wrestling News Co. and now I know we don't like them. Yeah, we don't. Peter's saying everything is on the table, including a Tom Colohue win, apparently. Sean says, does Cena and KO win tonight? Maybe. Spider-Boss says, any update about Randy Orton's return? Not at this time, no. For the simple reason being that they don't know. Nobody knows. He doesn't know. Anyone purporting to know about Randy Orton's return schedule, they are lying to you. To my knowledge, Randy Orton intends to return. It may be taken out of his hands. LFUK says, do you see Sammy getting pinned tonight? Starting example of the Bloodline. Give me Bloodline drama. Maybe. Spider-Boss says, I find more likely that we could see Sasha returning at WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes' return. If she signs a new deal with the WWE, she may return one day. Peter says, I was in court the other day for a bag I stole. Was there for 6 seconds. It was a briefcase. Ahem. Venom says, I'm worried Sasha's not coming back in the Rumble. DC says likely. I've told you my opinion on this one several times. Sasha Banks is not currently, she is still currently signed to a WWE contract for another 2 days. After that, she's a free agent. Okay? We need to get into the mindset now because that's the situation. LFUK says, surely Batista is a much better actor than The Rock. There is more versatility in his roles. Cena was great in HBO's The Peacemaker. You asked me my opinion. I gave it. Wow, Peter, you're really going in hard there, aren't you? Traffic says, good evening, Tom and chat. Super excited for tonight's SmackDown. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. They certainly tried to give us all the reasons we need in order to get involved in this one. I'm kind of in for it. Spider-Boss says, is Jeff Hardy still in AEW? Jeff Hardy is still under contract to AEW. He just hasn't been wrestling recently because he's not been available. Ghost says, based on the clips featured in the advertisement for the Pitch Black match, which once again I haven't seen yet, not feeling too well, it's clear this is involving Bray in some way. I would expect that it is something similar to the Firefly Funhouse match, it being not a traditional match or even a match at all. That's exactly what I would expect as well. Basically very similar to what happened with John Cena, but a new incarnation for a new character? He don't feel very new anymore. Wrestler Fan says, could we see John Cena in the Men's Royal Rumble match? Christoph says, my predictions for 2023, FTR and MJF coming to WWE, Solo Sikoa becoming a very big deal. I'm certainly confident that FTR will be returning to the WWE around April time. MJF, I'm not so sure. Steven wants the WWE to bring back the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't want it to. I don't get why everyone loves that belt so much. It is a hideous belt in my mind. Spider-Boss says, when we could see the Jericho Appreciation Society break up when Chris Jericho decides that he no longer needs an entourage. And Rezar says, what's going on with Naomi? I feel like people don't talk about her as much because we assume she's coming back to WWE due to her ties with the Usos. Not that people don't care about her. People care about her a lot less than Sasha Banks. That is a sad fact of life that they have decided one person is worth more than another. That is a simple fact. So when it comes to Naomi, there has been ongoing discussion. She has been backstage a number of times. We'll see how it plays out. Peter is excited for Dragon Lee coming to WWE. And Douglas Pino, welcome mate, says prediction of 2023, Jay White leaves New Japan and chooses WWE over AEW. We'll see on that one. A number of people close to him have been trying to get him to go to WWE for a number of years. He hasn't been particularly interested. Not particularly interested. I mean, the last time I reported on Jay White's contract, it was in 2019, and he had several years still to go at that point. Like, a lot of years. Yes, Christoph. MJF not likely to be joining in 2023. We have some news. First piece of news is as regards William Regal, who has now officially left All Elite Wrestling and will start in a couple of days in the WWE. He's expected to attend on Monday, and essentially from there, he will be backstage working to develop the talent, develop the rosters, and work with NXT Creative. He will be, and I've discussed this before, reaching out to a number of different people about the creation of NXT Europe, NXT Asia, and more, with a meeting with Kairi Sane on the top of the agenda to see if they can get her back involved in NXT Asia once again, as she was before they essentially cancelled the project. William Regal is leaving no bad blood whatsoever between himself and AEW. Pardon me. Everyone is happy with the deal at current, and while a lot of people are very, very upset to see him go, it is a continued sign of the swap in momentum. AEW, when William Regal went there, was really on the up, was really gaining momentum, and looked like they were going to start taking over as the top of the wrestling world. However, since then, we had the breakdown with CM Punk, we had Triple H taking over creative, we had Cody Rhodes swap sides, and in many ways now, all the momentum belongs to the WWE. Sasha Banks is officially in Japan. She has signed a contract, or will sign a contract. Sorry, I misspoke there. I need to bring that back a little bit. Over the next couple of days, she's expected to sign a contract with New Japan via Stardom. She is still, for the next 2 days at least, under contract to the WWE, and thus will not be able to sign a new contract until that has officially expired and she's been released. She'll be very, very briefly a free agent. She is expected to sign with New Japan via Stardom and will wrestle in Japan for the foreseeable future. To my knowledge, there has been no official breakdown of talks with Triple H. It's simply that the actual deal has not been made. They have not come to an agreement. She will be becoming a free agent. This does not mean that we are never going to see her in the WWE again, but at this point in time, all signs indicate Sasha Banks will be working in Japan for the foreseeable future, will not be at the Royal Rumble, will not be at WrestleMania, and as much as Triple H will continue to try, I do not see her signing a new WWE contract within the next year. That said, she is technically available to sign a deal, even short-term, with AEW if she so chooses. However, when it comes to a Stardom deal, they are looking at the moment for something exclusive. Spider-Boss says, I think sadly for Naomi's fans, Sasha is the biggest star between them. Certainly a lot of fans think that, yes. LFUK says, AJ Styles was injured at a house show very recently. Have you heard anything more? Still being assessed. After all, when it comes to the house shows, they don't assess on site. They essentially take them to the local medical facility and then do assessments from there as to what will become necessary. So at the moment, he's still being assessed. Noob says, Jay White is a catalyst of wrestling. Okay, interesting. Don't know what that means. Eric says, with Scarlett getting a house show match, do you think her versus Emma maybe at the Rumble? Nope. Sai says, I wonder if we can expect tonight's SmackDown to start the build to WrestleMania, i.e. Cena's appearance. That's promising, even if it shows they're looking that far ahead in their booking plans. The build to WrestleMania has in fact already started. It started with a vignette that we've seen very recently for Cody Rhodes. Steven says, MJF's contract is coming up in 2024 as a free agent. You say that, but if he signed the deal before that to renew his contract with AEW, he won't be a free agent. Very, very different circumstances. Peter is excited for SmackDown. Steven says William Regal needs to help SmackDown with the women's division. Disagree. William Regal will not be working directly with Raw or SmackDown. He will be working very much elsewhere. Ghost says Dragon Lee will be in NXT upon his arrival next month, so I believe an ideal first feud would be Carmelo Hayes. Could also see him in a storyline of Axiom, Grayson Waller, and if a call-up doesn't happen, Bron Breakker. Dragon Lee will hit the ground running. I completely agree that Carmelo Hayes would be the perfect person to start him off with. It's a shame Legado have already moved on, because that would also have been perfect. Spider-Boss says, I hope Triple H makes a good offer to Sasha for the boss to return at some point to WWE. Some point is a long, long time. Billy says that explains why she hasn't been moved to the alumni section yet. I've been pretty consistent in my reporting as regards Sasha Banks. Pretty consistent in my reporting there. That she was still under WWE contract, that she is still under WWE contract. I've reported that the entire time, but that she's also in negotiations for a new deal with Triple H. That has now been confirmed by almost everyone in the wrestling sphere. But let's not forget who reported it first, and I appreciate so many of you who've been, if you'll forgive the terminology, giving me my flowers recently. It's been great seeing so many people on Twitter putting me over, as it were, and I really do appreciate all of you for doing so. Venom is coming back, isn't coming back. Very long period of time, forever. Very long period of time. Peter says Sasha is waiting for me to be signed as her personal assistant on WWE. Could be waiting a while. See, you're the hold-up. You're the problem. Sai, get him. Michael says 2 days until 2023, but I'm not counting. I may or may not have been watching your Twitter feed and enjoying you not counting, sir. Alice said, is Cody Seth a possibility for Mania? Nope. Joey says WWE shouldn't feature the top wrestlers on house shows going into Mania. They can't risk someone like KO or Sammy getting injured. How then are they going to be able to develop the necessary chemistry and work out how to lay out their match if they can't actually wrestle? Andrew Quinn says, can't wait for Cody's return. I hope he wins the title at WrestleMania. Christoph says, Sasha leaving WWE for New Japan. If someone would have said that 1 year, everybody would have called him crazy. I can't believe it will happen after all. Venom says, why can't she sign with both companies? Because one company will not allow that. Spider-Boss says, Sasha negotiating with WWE was first said by spoiler warning and has since been said by basically everyone. Venom says, I thought they were looking at signing her, but having it so she could get there as well. They were. And from what I can tell, they were open to that as an option. That doesn't mean she signed the deal. There is more to it than just that. I've spoken already about one of the major causes of contention when it comes to that deal. Most of you will remember it. If you don't, you might want to have a stop and think about it, because I made it very clear what she wants in this deal, to my knowledge. LFUK says, Tom, you must be so fed up repeating everything about Sasha. Will people just listen? I'm not really that worried, LFUK. Here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube and how YouTube works and how Twitch works in many ways as well, the key for everything is engagement. So the reason this YouTube channel has grown so fast recently, and it really has grown at a really great pace, is because so many people come in here week after week and ask questions. So it's not a problem for me if people ask the same questions. Now, if so many people, let's say that there's 81 people in here right now, let's say 50 of them were saying, please stop asking about Sasha. I would then have to say, guys, stop asking about Sasha. I then have to draw a line under it. And there are times where I have to tell people, you're done talking now. There are times when I have to have that conversation. When you're repeating the same question, I'm sick of hearing it. But ultimately, asking a slightly different question is asking a slightly different question. And sometimes it allows me to look at things from a slightly different perspective and sort of rephrase what I'm saying. In the same way of anything on YouTube, The reason so many people come to these shows, the reason we get so many views, is because of the amount of viewers we currently have, the amount of likes we currently have, and then engagement. So chat rate, subscribers, donations during streams. At the moment, spoiler warning isn't our fastest grower. We don't grow the fastest during spoiler warning shows anymore. We did, but that's not the case right now. Right now, we grow fastest during the SmackDown watch parties. YouTube has seemingly decided that we're a watch party service. But here's the thing, there's a reason for that. YouTube can advertise a watch party much easier than they can advertise a news show, because you never know what you're going to get in a news show. A lot of people joined this channel and subscribe to this channel purely for Sasha Banks news. Sasha Banks news has always done fantastic on this channel. If all I had was Sasha Banks news, I'd still be making a decent living out of this channel within the next couple of years. But I don't just have Sasha Banks news. There was a day I made a report on Bray Wyatt and I gained 50 subscribers during 1 hour long show. That was a good time. It was followed by a lot of people asking the same Bray Wyatt question. You have to sort of give them the benefit of the doubt and at least engage in that conversation, because you never know how many people have missed the show earlier or have come in maybe 10 minutes late and they're just trying to stay up to date. I understand it's a bit repetitive for a few people, but I like to try and engage with as many of you as possible. I like to try and say, can you give us a like? Relatively often, without being too annoying about it. I like to try and say, if you've not subscribed, please remember to subscribe. It's not an easy juggle service, but I do what I can, and hopefully, you guys are having fun. If you guys do have fun here, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. If there's anything you're not happy about, let me know that too. Because one, it helps me tailor the show to my audience, which is you guys. This show is about you guys. And also, it ups my chat rate, which means I might get new people in who can help us grow as well. Cheers for that question. Really allowed me to let it out a little bit. I appreciate that. Stephen says, if The Rock can't be at WrestleMania 39 to face Roman Reigns, we get a Treat Theatre match. Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. The winner of that match gets to face Roman Reigns night 2 for the title. Then what's the point of the Royal Rumble? Michael says, Twitter is going to explode when Sasha is moved to the alumni section. I'm here for it. The moment will come. And on that day, I'll be releasing a short, I can promise you. Kieran says, you heard him. Everyone spams Sasha questions now. This is why we have the table emoji now. We have the table emoji because this originated because of Sasha Banks. Because everything is on the table. They don't know. I don't know. And I think when it comes to a wrestling news show like this, it's important to be transparent and be able to say, I don't know. Because quite often, I don't. And that's okay. We don't know everything, nor should we act like we do. Christoph says, New Japan's ratings may now be going sky high in 2023. I will be watching Wrestle Kingdom live. It's only on Wednesday. We'll be seeing it soon. Hector says, if Asuka and Io end up having a match at Mania, forget Becky versus Bayley, make it a triple threat and add Dakota Kai. That would be a banger for sure. They are not working towards that at the moment. Spider-Boss says, I remember well Sasha wanting a part-time deal and good booking. Marcel says, I hope the tag match tonight will get a lot of time. It will indeed. It's McCade. Says, who do you think will win the SmackDown Women's Championship tonight? Raquel or Ronda? I really want Raquel. I can't lie. I suspect Ronda Rousey will be leaving tonight's SmackDown with the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Razar says, if Sasha becomes a free agent, her and WWE can still make a deal at any point, right? Or is there a cutoff point? There is a cutoff point when she signs a deal with someone else. That's the cutoff point. Nelson says, do you think WWE and New Japan could start working together? They actively are. The WWE do have a direct path to work with New Japan. Carl Anderson is doing so. However, the fact that Carl Anderson did not arrive as intended originally to defend the Never Openweight Championship, as the original plan was, kind of annoyed some people. Simon, I do not have details of a contract that has not yet been signed between Sasha Banks and New Japan / Stardom. LF says, do you see Batista being inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2023? I believe he's meant to be inducted in 2020. I believe he was, and he wasn't able to do so at that time. I still think he will be inducted soon, though I can't necessarily say that he will be top billing anymore. In the Heat podcast says, what other matches do you see at WrestleMania, plus what other signings do you see for WWE in 2023? Excuse me, guys. Plenty of other matches coming for WrestleMania. I can't sit here and say this, that, or the other just yet. I will be putting a card together shortly. But Rey and Dominic Mysterio, that's a match I expect we're going to see. Other signings, they're working on quite a few people, including a few people who are coming out of AEW soon. I don't know who that is, Barry. Though I kind of get what you're saying. Spider-Boss says, I'm ready to watch PWInsider come with the Sasha Banks will sign with New Japan / Stardom. I think they kind of already did. Like, they are kind of ahead of the curve on this one. I can't sit here and say I have all the news first, because I don't. PWInsider are the ones who reported she'd be at Wrestle Kingdom first. Angel says, Cena does more for WWE than The Rock. Cena still comes back and wrestles, and people are still saying that The Rock will. After all, did The Rock not come back and wrestle Cena? Alyssa says, Cody Rhodes should win the Undisputed Championship, WrestleMania after drop title. Who will drop the title? Why would they drop it and then Cody wins it? Do you just not want Roman to lose? It's McCade says, who do you think will win this? I've already read that one. No comment, Venom. Spider-Boss says, Drew teased on Raw the chance of going after Gunter. Spoiler warning said first Drew will face Gunter for the IC title. Yeah. Drew McIntyre versus Gunter has been in the works for a while now. I don't necessarily see it happening at the Royal Rumble, though Drew McIntyre versus Gunter is very much the plan going forwards. Peter doesn't have the table emoji. No, Peter, you are not a channel member. The emojis are only for channel members. Pardon me. So you have a few options. We have the channel supporter option, which is £1. Sorry, pardon me, £1 a month. We have channel member, which is £5, and there is Team Colohue, which is £25. They all get basically the same thing. It's just what you want to donate, as it were. If you don't really want to become a channel member, that's also an option. You don't really have to worry too much about it. There are also at times gift memberships which are put into the channel. Certain people are very generous with those, so that is also a possibility. See if anything actually happens as regards that. But yeah, until then, you're always welcome to become a channel member if you are looking to do so. If not, unfortunately, the table emoji will not be available. Michael says the Wrestle Kingdom card looks fantastic. It always does. It always does. Jane says, what time will Wrestle Kingdom be? I'll be watching it. I'll be starting to watch it at 7 a.m. UK time. John Darlow says, always good fun on these streams. Looking forward to Rhodes versus Reigns. All roads lead to Reigns. Joey says, is it true that Logan Paul and Cena has been planned for Mania? I have not been able to confirm that because ultimately the first I heard of it was right here during a spoiler warning show. Steven says, Ronda Rousey versus Raquel for the SmackDown Women's title. Ronda will regain the title. She ain't drop it to WrestleMania 39. Becky Lynch is going to beat for that SmackDown Championship. Jonathan Rodriguez says, hope all is well, Tom. Kirk seemed to be a hot topic last week. Is he holding out in your opinion, or is it just creative with Tony that's keeping him off TV? Kirk? Who's Kirk? I don't know who Kirk is. Is there someone I'm missing? LFUK says, after WWE signed Dragon Lee and talk of Triple H wanting to sign more standout talent, who would you like to see WWE sign? See, once again, of course they want to sign as much great wrestling talent as possible. They're in the wrestling company. Like, they're a wrestling company. Of course they want to sign great wrestlers. I still don't understand how we call this a report. I really don't. And who would I like to see them sign? Jay White. Obviously, Jay White. Simon. Told you so many times now. Razar says, is WWE bringing in Tyson Fury? Saw some reports about it. They've been trying to for a number of months, and there are some issues preventing it. Spider-Boss says, what is the plan for the IC title going forward? Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Gunter. Barry says, I thought on the top tier subscription you do the full Mandy roast. Well, to be fair, the male nipple is not considered explicit. Only the female nipple because sexism. Spider-Boss says, a friend of mine will go nuts when Sasha signs with New Japan. Jaden says, is it Wednesday next week? Yes, it is. Spider-Boss says, do you see Mandy signing with AEW? I see her signing wherever she wants to, if she wants to sign anywhere. She doesn't need to wrestle anymore. She really doesn't. Steven says, WWE Monday Night Raw hurt without a WWE Championship on that show. Debatable point. I do feel it's missing a championship, but the moment will come. Simon says, the world title belt's being split. Yeah. Venom says, if Sasha does sign with New Japan, how long do you think it would be for? The length of her contract. Ghost says, this year has been a ridiculous time in wrestling. From Sasha and Naomi walking out and Vince stepping down to the once unthinkable return of Cody Rhodes and the all-out media scrum, 2022 will go down in the history books. Let's hope 2023 offers less drama and better times. Less drama? Really? We're wrestling fans. We live for the drama. Jonathan says, damn autocorrect, my apologies. Miro was a topic. Savannah says, does the everyone end returning to WWE still applying, right? Not sure what you're saying there, Spider-Boss. I'll need a bit more information. Alyssa says, did Liv Morgan get great reaction again? Think got fan back, should push again, feel like screw over. A lot of people thought Liv Morgan was getting screwed over and abandoned and was being buried. And then she had several tag team championship matches. Just relax on that one. Simon, I don't know when Naomi's contract is up. She may, in fact, have already signed a new one. But she's not in the alumni section because at the moment, there is still absolute confidence she'll wrestle for WWE again. Sean says, I don't know if I'm mentally ready for Gunther versus Brock. That's been reported, but that doesn't seem to be actively suggested at the moment. Christoph says, why did you do when one of your followers is asking you the same question over again every day about wrestlers come back and you don't want to be rude? Any advice is good. I do that. And sometimes I'm rude. But I think being British, my sarcasm comes through, and I don't think anyone's offended by that. You know? If you guys were, I'm sure you'd tell me. But quite often, if there's a question that I'm asked a lot, or a question that, like, it's done in good faith, but I just have no way of answering it, I'll make a sarcastic comment. And the person who asked the question will be like, okay, so he's not going to answer that one. And just move on. And it's nice. Douglas says, what if Raquel wins the title tonight? Then Raquel would be the SmackDown Women's Champion. Hector says, Tom, it's still crazy to me. Ronaldo got $75 million per year for his Saudi football. Got to spend that tainted money somehow, I guess. Well, as long as he doesn't piss off the regime. Noob says, do you think Triple H will sign wrestlers outside of AEW? Yeah. He'll sign good wrestlers. He can't sign wrestlers from AEW. They're under contract. Gil says, drama is super entertaining and I love it, but not everything needs to be on screen and leaked online. Well, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spider-Boss says, still surprised me that Cristiano football. Michael says, I kind of wish Bayley and Dakota weren't in WWE so I wouldn't have to care about WWE at all. I know, every time like something happens that makes you want to just veer off, something happens to just make you keep watching, doesn't it? Steven says, WWE draft is coming up after WrestleMania 39. We're going to have NXT call up to main roster. Maybe. Harry says, hi Tom, how are you? Doing pretty good, Harry. Feeling a lot better. Only had like 2 coughs so far. How you doing? Alex says, I hope one of the signings Triple H makes is Matt Cardona. Again, I'm not hearing of that much interest. Sai says, Tom isn't often rude, but you should hear how he talks to his mods. Well, to be fair, Ed did confuse his Celts earlier. Myself and soon to be Megan are not happy about it. Christoph says, okay, I'll find a sarcastic joke about Charlotte's comeback. Thanks, Tom. Gotcha, Christoph. Simon, I signed up to New Japan World, and thus I watch it. I'm not on an app. I just go on my laptop and type it into my browser. Billy says, the sarcasm is hilarious. Been on the receiving end of it. A few questions and comments. Glad you feel that way, Billy. Glad you feel that way. And yeah, I'm equal opportunities. I'm sarcastic to everyone. That is who I am. That is what I do. And I think it's just a great way of making like a quick, easy joke that sort of moves us on a little bit. Jaden says, finally a pay-per-view that I'll be able to watch live without having to stay up all night. John Darlow says, breaking news, WWE signs talented wrestlers. I don't get it. I don't get it. Spider-Boss says, who do you think is a draw in the WWE Women's Division now? Ronda Rousey. Stephen says, Ring of Honor talent can sign with WWE. Not if they're under contract. Michael says, do you know if AEW is still planning on doing a show with Stardom? They're still discussing it. They would still like to do it, but that doesn't mean they will have the ability to do so, unfortunately. And Sai says, Ed isn't here because he's rocking back and forth in a corner. He knows. He knows. Bailey says, will there be any big plans for the channel in 2023? Yes. Yes, indeed. Though nothing that you haven't already heard of. The plan is to use a lot more shorts, which have been very successful in the brief time that I've been doing them. Really big help to boost the views and to find new viewers. They've been very successful in that regard, even though those have not necessarily resulted in a lot more subscribers. New viewers is half the battle, just getting people to see your channel enough times to then consider subscribing. Long form content will be searchable as possible. So a lot of that maybe won't be to everyone's tastes. It'll be stuff like the match cards. And also, you've seen the video on Vince McMahon, for example. You've seen the video on Bray Wyatt. I've been asked a few times to talk CM Punk, so let's talk CM Punk. I've already started putting something together for that. But I'm also looking at sort of the cheap list stuff that just brings new viewers to the channel. Spoiler warning isn't necessarily for growth anymore. The watch parties are for growth. The videos are for growth. Spoiler warning is more about the people who are already here. This is the show for you. And when it comes to the content, it's mostly based on questions from you. So it's by you, for you. And that's kind of how I like it. Sean says, one thing I don't hear people talking about with the Dragon Lee signing is that it's the first indie signing for NXT in a long time, and shows me that they want NXT back into how it used to be. They were planning that basically the second that Triple H took over. Jordan says, sometimes the only way is sarcasm, mate. Indeed, Jordan. Ghost says, if you're sarcastic to me, I tend to be just as sarcastic right back, just how we are, and that is fine. Totally agree, Ghost. If I'm needling you, needle me right back. Give it back. I love it. Absolutely love it. And Ghost, you're always pretty reliable for it, so I really appreciate it. Jonathan says, love the shorts, keep those up. Thank you, Jonathan. I know there hasn't been too many of them recently, but there will be more. The idea is that breaking news will be in shorts. So as soon as there is news, I can go into another room, film something real quick, job's a good one, you know? It's easy content, but it's good grow content. Blah, blah. Michael says, I know Slice Wrestling is not a source, but their exclusive of AEW booking Jade versus Sasha got me excited. I can dream, right? Slice Wrestling is a parody, mate. Come on. Come on. Come on. If they say it, it's even less likely to happen. Spider-Boss says, for me, it's amazing to watch Rhea Ripley. She's my favourite after Sasha. Christoph says, one of my best friends on Twitter is from Birmingham, so I get what you mean about British sarcasm. When you get to use it, it's actually cool. I'll remember that. I remember people like sarcasm. I try and be as entertaining as possible. Get a few laughs out of people. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Wrestler Fan says, who may Edge face at WrestleMania 39? Finn Balor. Will says, do you know if WWE may want to do a deal with Stardom at some point? They do. Harry says, will you be doing an Undertaker video? Yes, the script is about halfway done on that one. The videos that I'm making will sort of be done when they're done, but I'm aiming to try and do one every week on a Wednesday. That's my plan. Simon says, AEW works in New Japan as a partnership with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in June. Does that mean AEW already work with Stardom because New Japan owns Stardom? They have at some point, but they are not contracted to any sort of exclusive thing. It was very much a, let's do this. Okay, here we go. Eric says, when do you think Logan returns? If by Logan you mean Logan Paul, he'll be returning for the Royal Rumble. Now says, FTR versus Usos versus KO Sami. A man can dream. Indeed. Indeed, you can absolutely dream. We have more news to be talking about. We currently have 86 viewers and only 44 likes, so please remember to hit that thumbs up. We, of course, also have ourselves 260 free views, which is a lovely, lovely number. Thank you kindly, everyone, for watching so far. There is a slight update on certain AEW wrestlers who are currently trying to get out of their AEW contract because they are simply not happy working for the company. This does not necessarily mean that they're looking to return to the WWE, although in the case of the two wrestlers I'm about to mention, they are looking to return to the WWE. I don't think it'll be to any great surprise of anyone here that both Miro and Andrade are currently looking to get out of their AEW contracts, and there are discussions going on backstage in AEW about making that happen. Miro has not been backstage in AEW for a while. When he is there, it's very, very sporadic, and from the locker room sources, he's simply not particularly happy to be there. As regards Andrade, he went home a while ago and has not been seen since. Both are believed to be looking to get out of their AEW contract, and as regards sources in the locker room, it seems likely that they are going to get their wish. That said, Tony Khan is not of the interest of strengthening the WWE. He may have let William Regal go, but William Regal's contract was intentionally open and vague for that exact reason. And this leaves us with the big one. The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. The main event for WrestleMania 39 is believed to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, with Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble in order to achieve it. Cody Rhodes has been the favourite to win the Royal Rumble for months now, essentially since Hell in a Cell way back when, and his match with Seth Rollins. At the event, I mentioned that it would be Cody Rhodes main eventing WrestleMania next year, and that still looks to be the case. Rumours of The Rock have been massively exaggerated. To my knowledge, The Rock is still not currently booked for a match at WrestleMania. This is the 4th year in a row that Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer have released reports saying that The Rock will be wrestling at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, and the 4th year in a row that it doesn't look like it's going to happen. For 3 years before this, it hasn't happened. The 4th year is coming. So far, no indication that it is going to be happening. Let's not forget that a few weeks ago, the Wrestling Observer reported that The Rock would be entering the Royal Rumble, picking up the win and going on to face Roman because of that. It is still an outside possibility. But the record that they have as regards The Rock and the WrestleMania match against Roman Reigns isn't exactly sterling at the moment. Cody Rhodes had his vignette appear on WWE programming because he is returning in the build-up to the Royal Rumble, as first reported. By spoiler warning, he is going to be involved in the big matches at WrestleMania. The main event is believed to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. All reports of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania are at this point red herrings. We are waiting to see what happens further. LF says Sammy would be a very entertaining world champion. I'm really hoping Kevin Owens gets a title run too. He can make anything work. I don't see Kevin Owens being a world champion again in the WWE. That says, Tom, will there be any Hogan videos? No, though if you're interested, can you tell me a bit more, Daz, about what you'd like to know? Because ultimately you're my audience. So Eric says, if you could ask Tony Khan one question, what would it be? I would ask, why haven't we made Hater a solo star? My question would be, where's CM Punk and is he coming back? Jane said, would it still be possible for Sasha to return to the Rumble if she signed with New Japan? That depends on the wording of the contract and if New Japan are willing to do so. And if WWE are willing to do so. Lots of moving parts there. Harry says, when do you think Big E and Cody Rhodes return? Cody Rhodes will be returning within the next couple of weeks. Big E is not quite fit and firing yet. I believe we will see him a little later in the year, likely around WrestleMania time. Noob says, what are your thoughts on Xia Brookside wrestling in Stardom and Maria May's debut on Stardom? I believe they'll be a great, most likely will be a huge part of NXT Europe next year. If they're wrestling on Stardom, I find it unlikely they'll be part of NXT Europe next year. I find it more likely they'll be part of the New Japan Women's Division. Let's not forget, the reason that we're talking about Sasha signing for New Japan is that New Japan are having and hiring women now. So the idea that, oh, well, they'll be involved in this with WWE, they'll be involved with that in WWE. The second that signature's there, you can kiss that idea goodbye. Spider-Boss says, for 2023, I hope WWE can work with New Japan and Stardom for a partnership. We'll see. Spider-Boss says, Andrade posted on social media a couple of months ago he suffered a pec injury. Yes, but well before that, he made it clear that he did not want to work with AEW any further. Michael says, next year seems to be the most unlikely that Rock would be at Mania. I can't imagine he'd want to be with WWE and XFL at the same time. Spider-Boss says, could we see Kevin Owens winning gold in 2023? We could. I don't think we will, but we could. Jonathan says, Rhea versus Ronda doesn't make much sense in my mind. The stare down between Rhea and Becky makes me want to see that as a Mania match instead. It makes much more sense. Also, heel versus heel. Eric says, who do you think will be the next WWE player to jump ship to AEW? Someone lower down the card who doesn't make that much of an impact. Drew Gulak. I reckon Drew Gulak could be a good shout. He could do well in AEW. Moises said, I cannot wait to see Cody win the Rumble. Razar says, what is the Night 1 main event going to be for WrestleMania? I only have the one match for WrestleMania to talk about today. Naz says, what do you think the Elimination Chamber match will be for? The second championship? Seems likely. At the very least, a second women's championship. That's what the Elimination Chamber matches have been for historically. Christoph says, if Rock doesn't make it at WrestleMania, does it mean Roman doing double duty is also out of the window? Not necessarily. After all, we've still got a storyline with Jey Uso, with Sami Zayn. If they want him to do double duty, and they've been talking about it for a while, he will do double duty. Hey, Ed. You want to join the Irish in the group? Yeah? 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 You just wait till SmackDown when I can talk to Megan. About Hogan's early career. Oh, so his time in Japan. Could be of interest. Eric says, I want to see Sasha versus Tessa Blanchard. Very few other people do. Harry says, do you think any legends return Rumble? Yes, because it's a Royal Rumble, and usually there are legends there. LF says, do you see any surprise entrants for the Women's Rumble apart from Kairi? Yes, because it's a Royal Rumble, and there are always surprise entrants. Simon says, Sasha won't wrestle in Japan. The matches are so spread out. Oh, a lot in Japan. The matches are so spread out. Yeah, they spread out the matches a lot more. She's probably okay with that, otherwise why would she sign? Kieran says, do you think Logan's NFT scam has recently been exposed for could affect his return? No, not in the slightest. Hello Wiggly, how you doing, mate? Says, I miss Asuka. Well, immediately into it, aren't you? Spider-Boss says, I'm the only one tired of watching Sasha fan make theories for every post that Sasha makes on social media. Yes, but she isn't. She's quite happy with it. Wiggly predicts that tonight Owens gets a pin over Sammy. Wiggly, I've never seen Pele. Obviously, R.I.P. Apparently legendarily talented. I've never seen his work. Will says it feels like everything they tee is a Britt Baker and Jamie breakup. A new person comes in AEW, has a match with Britt, like when Ruby Soho came in and Paige joined AEW. Yeah, that's kind of what they do in the women's division. They look, new person, championship match. No. New person, championship match. No. They did it with the AEW championship for a while. No, Wiggly. None. None whatsoever. I've never had a reason to. I'm not big on history. Razar says, will NXT be involved in the Rumble? Harry says, do you think Gregory Helms and Rey Mysterio retire soon? I believe that Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio will be a big deal at WrestleMania next year. Spider-Man says, I think Roman and Sami stand tall tonight. Me too. Eric, the Hand of God was not Pele. The Hand of God was Maradona. LF says, I would love to see Roman and Jey Uso feud again. Their feud in the Thunderdome was probably the highlight of his reign. Simon, I don't know the details of every single day in Sasha Banks' life. You're asking way too much there. Alan says, is Dragon Lee still a tag champ with his brother? Yes, he is. Dad says, Tom, what's next after this tag match tonight for Cena? Whatever he wants to do next. Moises says, do you think Matt Cardona will be in the Rumble? Probably not. Joey says, have you heard anything on Kenny Omega's contract? Yes, he has one. I don't know what else you're really looking for there. Like, what? I don't understand the question. Have you heard anything on Kenny Omega's contract? Yes, it exists. We're going to wrap it up there, because at this point we're getting more questions about non-wrestling topics, and this is, after all, a wrestling show. Aled, his brother, which is the name you keep saying, so I'll stick with your terminology for it, was involved briefly with NXT, at least turned up to have a training session. To my knowledge, has not been signed. Yes, I'm doing the watch along. Tonight we will be watching SmackDown together again. If you'd like to drop in, please do so. In the meantime, though, I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic. I'm so glad to be back and so glad to see so many of you again. And I'll see you all very, very soon.